All right, let's continue from where we landed. We're actually having an off-air conversation, but now we'll bring it on air. Welcome back to the press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here at the nation's capital, Abuja. If you just joined us, you're right on time, but then you've missed out on the headlines. So my guest on the show today is Hassan Sardauna, who is a political analyst. It's great to have you on the show again.
Thank you very much for having me, Annabel.
Great. And because I've not seen you, so happy independence to you.
Happy 63 years old.
Okay, not independence.
Is it independence?
All right, viewers, our phone lines are open. You can call in to make your contributions and ask your questions. Now, let's start from where you just left off. Is this you asked me the questions? I'll return it back to you again, since I'm the one sitting on asking I'm the one asking the questions here. So, are we celebrating or are we commemorating Nigeria's 63rd independence? Let me put that part because I know you wanted to remove it. What is it for you? Is it celebration or commemoration?
Whatever someone feels it is good for him or her to can take a portion. But we're supposed to celebrate independence of 63 years of our independence. But is it an independence?
Is it an independence?
Okay, so thank you very much. If it is an independent, how, when, and where? We are all witnessing what is happening in Nigeria or in African continent. Nigeria is not left out.
West African
especially in terms of security. When we are talking about security gathered and govern all the what we call it, social and human welfare that one as a human being will enjoy. But we doesn't. Only few of us. But to God be the glory. We are a people of thank God that we always appreciate what God has given us. But to be honest and sincere, I think it is nothing to celebrate about.
Oh, wow.
The reason why I am saying is nothing about to celebrate. Just less than a week, some of these students from Federal University Gusau were kidnapped in their hostels. Are you getting what I'm saying? In some places, about 30-something people were kidnapped in Kaduna State. In just recently, you see what is happening in some of the southeast. Yesterday, some people came out for market day and they were attacked. Their shops and whatever were vandalized and cars were burned to ashes. Quite okay. Is this something to celebrate at 63? In fact, there is nothing to celebrate about. We are talking, yes, we are, thank God, you and I were among those who happen to be hale and hearty. But if we are talking about celebration, that is where we have a very sound society that is secured.
Can you ever have a very sound society?
There will be a time that we had such a type of societies. When we are young, at the end of kindergarten, we are witnessing such things. We will be walking freely, plus you, going to your neighbors without fear and or anything. Your parents will be waiting for you until when you come back. But today, can it happen? You can't allow your son or daughter to get out of the main gate of your house just because of the insecurity. If there is anything that we are shedding tears about, look, let me tell you something. Especially the zone that I come from, north, there is nothing like security. Only that we can say thank God. But the fact remains that I was listening to an audio day before yesterday when an imam was talking to the executive governor of one of the northern states in the northwest of Nigeria. He said, I have now have an opportunity to talk to you, Mr. Governor. This is a mandate given to you by the people of this very state. If you can able to secure the life and properties of our state, this alone is better than all the 10,000, the palliative, everything that you will give us. The peace and security in that state is paramount, and I wish I know that you are a Muslim or you have a religion. One day you will want to acknowledge all what you have did. You're done and did when you are alive. That means after you have died. So when we are talking about, by the time you have a people of God are talking this type of way, is it not a thing that we cannot celebrate?
But then they will tell you that insecurity is everywhere. It's just in you have everyone have even the organized societies. I hate to say it, but then the most advanced countries they have their own peculiar cases of insecurity.
I am not doubting to you that the global world today is not a safe haven. But let me give you an instance. Are you following an issue about one young man, an artist who just died recently, who they are accusing in Nigeria, who they are accusing a lot of people, hands into fingering a lot of people about his death? Are you not aware that young men and women in Lagos State assembled and gathered for the justice of that killings? Are you not aware?
Very well. I'm even following the case.
Why is it not happening in Kano, Katsina, or Sokoto and Zamfara? Are you not aware of there is one young man who was vanished from a thin air since 2015 to date, or 2019? Dadiata, a lecturer with Federal University. Nobody has ever marched. Nobody has ever called for his finding.
So what are you saying? Is it the people's fault or the government?
There is a people fault and there are government.
How so?
Yes, because the level of caring and taking things in response in time is quite different, and that is why education is very paramount and important to each and every Nigerian. And I am not blaming sometimes government. Sometimes I blame ourselves, we the followers that are giving government every inch of time to do what and how when they want to do their affairs, without questioning and checkmating them, without asking a question that's supposed to be asked. We pretend and close eyes where possible, or where it is not possible. We just feel that yes, once things are with you, everybody is doing very well. But to God be the glory. We are not saying the government are not doing their best. In government are not doing what they are not supposed to do. But to God be the glory. I want to tell you that the differences that we are talking, even being there is no self-having global society today in the whole world. Every country or nation has its own peculiar problems in terms of security, but they maintain and try to find justice. After 27 years, justice, a person who kills Tupac Shakur was found. Is it not an advantage? Just recently, one of your brother, a journalist, was killed in Gusau. I think you know about him. He is a staff of Voice of Nigeria, I think. So these are the types of things. You remember during Abacha times, one of these Kalto cases in Kaduna, who was bombed in Daula Hotel or Doba Hotel, you remember? All the time, what is the cases? What we are talking about, we must pick our mind. We must find out that yes, our grievances have been listened to by who? By the government, who our lives and property enshrine over them to make sure that we live in peace.
All right, we are going to pick out a lot of topic from what you just said and unbundle. Then let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Elder Zion, calling us from Jos.
Thank you very much.
Very well, thank you. Great to hear from you, sir.
Thank you. Well, it is the issue of yesterday. I give God the glory that Labour and the federal government finally came to a compromise. And the strike was averted. It would have been very difficult for Nigerians. It was spread doom on the poor man and the woman in this country. That praise God that they came to the same understanding and averted it. Having said that, I will call the federal government to please go the path of integrity. Integrity means that you fulfill your promises. The Bible says, don't make any promise that you cannot fulfill. That the promise of a fool don't delight him. Because a person that doesn't fulfill his promise is a fool. So that government, always, this is started 2009, and the lenders to today, let them fulfill their promise to labor. And thank God, you see, this government should live to employ credibility, integrity in their workplace they do. See what we have been witnessing from them. They will not promise, they will not fulfill it. They said they will give states $5 billion for palliative. They gave only 2. And the way they got that 3, nobody's talking about it. Look at the education law scheme for tertiary students. nominated, they have been removed from Southeast.
Right.
Chief of Army Staff that told Nigerians like that. But look what happened yesterday. I believe you people saw it. Vehicles and people being destroyed in Abakaliki.
Yeah.
And the minister tell you people what things happened in the rural areas of Southeast unreported. And the government were the people who are telling people that they should go to their businesses without fulfilling their own side of the bargain. So my take is that the federal government should live up to its expectation.
Right.
Finally, I pray that the certificate released yesterday will not embarrass Nigeria when it is finally published. May God bless us. May God bless KAFTAN. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And may God bless you also. Amen. God bless Elder Zion. Thank you so much for your contribution. Wow, that's a whole lot. But then now let's go back to our conversation. You were talking about if we should be commemorating or celebrating, either way. But then we have so many things to look back and say, is it actually worth it? But then let's dissect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's statement or speech during his anniversary speech, and we've seen how much reactions it has created, how much hue and cry it has created in the politics since when he made that statement. So we'll talk about that. Two questions, and I'd like you to unbundle them before we leave that. So now that's on this one on the side. What do you make of the that anniversary speech? Because definitely there's always that every president must give their speech during the anniversary. So he has already done his, but then everyone kept lambasting and saying good and bad about it. But so now that's one on the side. And secondly, we also heard from the First Lady, the wife of the president, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, who came out to say that my husband is not a magician.
Yes.
But I recall that during the campaigns, when you asked, when president, or before he became the president, when he was asked how much he would help remove Nigeria from this quagmire, regardless of his health, what he reminded Nigerians is it's not a laborer's job, it is an intellectual work. But now coming out from the First Lady telling Nigerians that he is not a magician, so it means that if he says that he will do it because it is not a laborer's job, it needs intellectual, it means that he already knows the job cut out for him before he got in there. Yeah. So now that statement made by the First Lady has caused a lot of reaction. This morning I was checking social media, and economists, everybody, they became analysts all of a sudden. So now let's dissect it. What are your thoughts in that regard?
Okay, ordinarily, if you are a wife of Ahmed Bola Tinubu, what will you going to say more than telling the world that your husband is not a magician? He is not. Is he a magician? He is not. Okay, intellectually, he will going to bring a lot of people that have means and will going to move Nigeria forward. Quite okay, agreed. Some of his cabinet, some of his appointment, you will believe that he is bringing, or he brought some people that knows what they're supposed to do. And I believe they will do it. Being talking about magician is that you cannot give a contract of road from here, Abuja to Kaduna, and expect it on under 3 months it has been completed. That is the magic she is talking about. You cannot come and find out that deterioration of economic in Nigeria, which over years has been, we are suffering and pondering on economic crisis, and think that overnight it will going to change.
But you knew about that before you got in.
Yes.
That's what Nigerians would
Thank you very
remind
much.
you.
Thank you very much. If you are in his shoes and other people's shoes, both his contemporaries that contested with him promised us that they were going to remove subsidy. I know you know that.
Yes, I know it.
Thank you very much.
But then
there is none of them that are going to do a magic overnight to change Nigeria to what it is, what Nigeria is not. But I want to tell you something, that in these things that we are talking about, there is a lot of changes. One thing that I believe Tinubu has, you will not run away from it, and I will not run away from it. He has a listening ears. When he made his statement day before yesterday, I believe you heard him very well. In his statement, he said that, I'm just picking one of his statement, that 25,000 will be given to the lower cadre of workers. Am I right? 35,000. But before the end of the day, it has changed. He said it will go across each and every level. This
federal
is
government.
Yes.
So what happens to the organized private sector?
The private sector, there is more to it. And that is why they are talking about CNG buses. They are talking about what do we call it? Palliative. They are talking about designing.
Have you seen anyone that collected the palliatives?
Not that type of palliative that we are talking about. I'm talking about the palliative that will come up where it is already designed. That there are some people will be enjoying 50,000 in their business unit, 250,000. There are even farming sector, food and security, where about 150,000 hectares of wheat will going to be cultivated. What do we call it? Rice will be about 250,000, and all the cassava will be about 50 to 100,000 hectares. You understand what I'm saying? These are where we are talking about, and it has been designed, and the policy is workable. We are talking about multiple taxation, which we want to make it simple. And now they are working about it. A committee has been set up. They have gone far. We are talking about new minimum wage. A committee that is Nigerian Economic Council (NEC) have done and they have designed it. And that is why, if you look at it, even yesterday, the Labour Congress and the TUC withdrew from their indefinite strike that will start from today. What are we saying here is that by the time a president have listening ears, whatever the growth he is having or he will make, there will be a correction there and then. That means he is accessible to his lieutenant and subordinate. Unlike some people, I don't want to say it. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The last government was a government that, yes, I know you. When you submit your problem, we discuss the problem, you left. You cannot come and start talking to him anyhow again. He will go on that agreement in the first place. Are you
directly throwing shade at the former president?
Yes, the former president is not the person that you can just burn overnight. You cannot look at him and even talk to him because he has a career profession as a military personnel. This person is a businessman or a public servant before. He joined the, what they call it, politics. 30-something years back, he's a politician to death. So he is eating politics, drinking politics, working politics, thinking politics. So he will be very far different from any of the last president. So that is why you are seeing, when he talks about 25 million palliatives in the past, which Elder, what do you call it, just talk about. People came out crying that 8,000 is not enough. It was changed. That means a listening ears. Once another things come again, there was a new design. When people talk, they cry out. He changed. But then according to yesterday, when we talk, the people cry out before they run out. A change has been made, and the Labour have accepted the change.
So we actually say that the Labour is fighting for everyone, or they're fighting for some people.
No, for everyone. That is why we are talking about what? We are talking about the loans, the palliative, talking about the education sector, talking about the workers, both the private and the civil servants and others, and even people that are not working, who are going to get that palliative and who can go and borrow money and be going to the interest will be less than 2 digits.
Okay, Mr. Hassan, let me ask you now directly or personally. This meeting that was held by the Labour, organized Labour, and the federal government, and they decided to shift their sword or decide to suspend the strike for the next 30 days. How, if it affects the federal government, the civil servants, how does it affect you? That is a private, either a private citizen or a private worker.
When we are talking about subsidy, we said a very few people enjoy subsidy. Are we not? You and I, we agree that some few people make money out of subsidy. I and you doesn't make the money. But when the subsidy, we agree that should be removed by everyone. Anybody that will come must remove it. We agree upon that. When it has been removed, you see the consequences. That means you and I has
it actually been removed?
Yes, it has been removed, but somehow, somewhere, it has been put in place.
Oh, so you agree that it was returned?
Not full, because not the type of the one that we are experiencing before. The one that we are experiencing now is just because we are not productive. We don't refine our oil. If we are refining our oil, then definitely it has gone forever. Okay. That is why he is doing everything eminently to make sure that the refineries have started working in Nigeria.
Continue. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, beautiful morning to you, Annabel. Sardauna, good morning to our audience.
SFD from Lagos. Great to hear from you. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Let me quickly appreciate KAFTAN for giving us this ample opportunity to say our mind. And then also let me appreciate the great Sardauna sincerely, I'm giving you standing ovation for your wonderful analysis. Thank you very much once again. Keep it up. And then, you see, Annabel, I don't know, let me take out back a little bit. Somewhere January 2022, I think between on the 8th of January or 10th of January, we just come out and made mention the king wants to become a king. So now the king has become the king. That's number one. But recently, Mr. President made mention that don't speak it, I ask for the job. Understand? And he challenged all cabinets that there is no room for excuse. We have to deliver. That is what he said in cabinet. No room for excuse. We have to deliver. Yeah, looking at his antecedent, of course, really, he will give him the credit that definitely he's not like others that he made mention. He is not. Definitely, I agree with that. I don't know when government puts something in place. They just actually and obey and then look at another thing. Like now, the settlement of the agreement of the 35,000 naira provisional wages for the federal government and the 25,000 for the low-paid workers. Of course, to me, let me be honest with you, I don't expect any provisional wage in Nigeria because we have all the potential, we have the resources, we have everything. That's number one. But if the government fails and thinks that this is the way out, I'm so afraid. I am afraid the government will put something in place to make sure that between now and that 6 months of the provisional wages, something meaningful that will be permanent salary for both the federal government workers and the low-grade workers will come out, so that at the end of the day, even not this administration, we will not be hearing at least that workers are going on strike or labor are going on strike because of salary issues. Remember, in 2016, there is issue of minimum wage. Even up to date, there are some states that they cannot be able to pay the 30,000 naira. You understand? And that is something that we need to, at least when you have something on ground, then you have to go on with the policy so that you make sure that at the end of the day, you implement that thing. Because I was thinking that at 53 of independence, 53 of interrupted democracy, we are too big for that. Remember, the great of Africa. So I was thinking, at least, and I hope and pray that the government will do something about it. Looking at the antecedent, it's a man of his word, and I truly believe something meaningful will come out. I'm not carrying the member of any political party. But I'm looking at his antecedents and I know that definitely something will come out. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, SMD from Lagos. Thank you. It's great to hear from you also. All right, so let's talk about other matters with regards to what we have on the headline. We cannot actually overflog that matter. We can actually stay the whole day and still keep talking about it, but never end it. So let's go. Hello, good morning. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Annabel.
Good morning. Akin from Lagos. Great to hear from you. Go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Okay, Annabel. First and foremost, what I just want to say is that I want to blame the government in one aspect, even though they are trying to make up. But I don't think that they are not communicating to Nigerians enough. You understand? The truth of the matter is that this present president, the position he's holding now is so messed up. I mean, highly messed up. So, and the blame definitely will be coming to him because he's the one in position. So, what is needed from them is to properly communicate with Nigeria, say it the way it is, no hiding anything. Understand? So if they properly communicate with Nigerians, people will actually understand. Let me give you some instance. Look at the Ministry of Interior. You and I know that quite long time for you to get a visa or whatever, I mean a national passport or whatever clearance in that sector is a kind of hard bond to chew. But look at it, just within a short period of time, over 10,000 were cleared. That's just an instant.
204,000.
I'm just taking. Then look at the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria. Nobody should deceive themselves in this country. That central bank has been destroyed completely. So for the new CBN governor, we have to be patient because they have to clear that out first for anything to be done. And lastly,
over the president's wife's statement. Anyone can take it from any angle. But if I were to be her, I would say the same thing, because there's no any miracle work that will happen. And I even want to appreciate her. The last time, I don't know if I'm getting it correctly, Plateau, we know the problem is happening in Plateau. And I want to believe it's from our own pocket, over 500 billion naira, if I'm not mistaken, that she donated. Come on, tell me when last we have that kind of passion, and so we don't.
All right, Aki.
With them, but
thank you so much.
With them, you have to communicate with them.
Thank you so much, Aki.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Hello, good morning. Okay, so now let's go straight to other stories, and then we'll take this one from, in fact, almost all the headline has the same story, but I will take two, and I want you to unbundle them in one breath since our time is fast spent. Says bribery, UK court restricts Desiani's movement. EFCC begins extradition. I'm sure you must have been following that case, and then you saw how it went from 100,000 pounds, and then she was given 70,000. And someone came to me and asked, this is where things work, not in places where you have someone is being dragged for stealing or misappropriating 1 million naira, and you ask the person to pay 200,000. But this one, she's almost paying, in fact, all the money that she was accused or alleged to have taken. So what are your thoughts in that regard? And that's one on the side. And secondly, almost all the paper has the same story with regards to Chicago University releasing Tinubu's record to Atiku. The long-awaited record has finally been released. Let's hear your thoughts in that regard.
Thank you, Annabel. First, it is very unfortunate that we in Nigeria, we are running for the 24th year now as a democratic country that is practicing democracy since 1999. But the American or the UK that you are talking about, UK has been practicing democracy over 300 years. This education that we are talking about, adult education, that was brought to Africa for you and I, our parents or grandparents, was an education instituted in a brothel house. You know brothel house? In Nottingham, about 500 years ago. That was the type of education that was brought to Nigeria or Africa. And the Americans that we are talking about, they are practicing democracy now for almost 280 years now. So when you come and compare some of their development in terms of democracy and governance, it can be equal to that of our Nigeria. Even in Africa, we are just 20-something years. There are some countries that are practicing over 40, 50 years democracy, and their democracy is far better than our own. But with the type of democracy we started 99 to date, our democracy is running faster and achievable, more than 60 or 70 years of that of America. If you don't know this, you must know. And I want to tell you something, that almost our institutions, they are not functioning as we are expecting. It is now that the institutions are coming up, because we have come to a global world where the ICT makes a global world to be a village. You understand what I'm saying? That there is nothing is hiding. You understand what I'm saying? So in this situation, a person that you are not expecting to be having an information that you have, he have more and more wider information than you because of this ICT. So in this regard, we must say that what is happening in UK in terms of designing something, it is a very good thing to discuss about. It is something to overwhelm. But in Nigeria, are we the same page with them? Okay, now that the EFCC are asking for extradition, are they going to extradite her? It is something to call on. In this country, we saw when Americans wanted to extradite one of a senator who locked himself for how many days, crying, and later he became a senator. He left even his party to another party and became even later a secretary to the party. You understand what I'm saying? He is doing very fine. And what we are saying here is that does not mean that we are not developing, we are not achieving, or we are not growing. No, in terms of growing process, it's a step by steps, and sometimes you have to make a hurdles on your way to achieve your aims.
So is this growth, is it positive or negative?
We are growing positively and we are achieving. You know, I have made some statement. It does not mean that if you are not going in this side or you have not getting this at the right hand side right, then we are not getting it in the left hand side. I can tell you authoritatively in these discussions that we are having now. If you go to some places in Ghana, you cannot have a degree in less than $85,000 to $150,000 medicine degree, but in Nigeria you can have it even in $15,000. But in UK you can get it less than $1 million and up. In US you can get it not less than $450 to $550 a medicine degree. But our degree has never been changed. When you finish your medicine degree down to UK, they will give you a direct work and you will be start operating. But if you finish your degree on science health as a medical doctor in UK, you came back here, you must do internship for 1 year because you don't have malaria there, you don't have poliomyelitis there, you don't have guinea worms there, typhoid fevers and others. You come here and learn. Nigeria is a giant of everything. So with that, you understand that we are moving forward. And secondly, you are talking about the second one where it's about Atiku.
Chicago.
You see, this is a case that has been on roadmap for a quite long time, for more than 2 decades even. He was a governor in 1999. The same case was taken to court and he won the case. And after that, since 2007, he was not in the government. These things have been in blah, blah, blah in the story of the books and newspapers. And he went on striking to be a candidate in his party. Party members from his own party went to the court, and the court told them that this thing has been dealt with since before. So what are you wasting your time for? But Atiku did not.
Is it a waste of time? You also talked about the Tupac Shakur's case over 20 years, and now he's getting. The reason
why I'm saying that, everybody knows Tupac Shakur was killed. You and I, even that time, at the edge of kindergarten.
It's the same thing with this. Not everybody knows.
Somebody, I watched somebody who is an arch rival, an opposition to Tinubu, was saying he spent $15,000 to go to Chicago to make a finding. People should stop wasting their time. And who is that person? Reno Amokri. Let me tell you, the difference between what is happening in America and here. If you remember, Barack Obama, as a president for good 8 years, he was battling with this kinds of situation about result in America. When he happened to be one of the best 100 lawyers they were having then before he became a senator even in USA. So I want to help you to understand that when you come back again at the other side, you will realize that Donald Trump faced the same problem of result, but they have something in their constitution which is called student right to privacy. This is a law. You cannot just double into my document without my authority, or the person who pays for my school fees. But in this case, since Ahmed Tinubu knew this very law, he is playing everybody. When they go, he will appeal. If they go this way, he will appeal, because he knew that nobody will have an access to his result until when he has given that directive. So in this case, it is just wasting your time somewhere.
So I think you keep calling it a waste of time.
I will continue calling it a waste of time, because I know.
What if he was pointed to someone else? Would you call it waste of time? Isn't it? We are looking for information, and isn't there the freedom of information? If I feel I need to get more information on X, Y,
the information that Annabel, let me help us. The information we are getting is enough. The difference is this: when it's time for governance, let us try it for once. At least let us do the governance. What have reduced from the former president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, when he accepted and surrendered that he have lost the election? The party came and said that they should go to court. He said he's not going anywhere. But at the end of the day, do you remember, or can you understand that he was the best friend of Muhammadu Buhari? Then what is he reduced? What have he lost out of that? Rather, it gains us more credibility, integrity, and respect in the global world today.
So you're saying that the presidential candidate of the PDP, they should accept the olive branch being sent by the president and leave all those things they're looking for.
But they will be losing at the court now. I don't want them to be spending.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Please tell us your name or where you're calling us from.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Orji, calling from Annabel.
All right, go ahead. You have less than 1 minute. Please turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you.
Yes, for me.
Turn down the volume of your TV set, please.
Okay, I'm trying to do that.
Or move away from it.
Alright, is it better now?
All right, go ahead, please. You have less than 1 minute. Go ahead, Wale.
Okay, I think there is kind of slight delay or something. Yeah, I want to differ from everything that everybody and even the analysts has been saying. But for me, it's just that for me, this is the best nation in the world. So either some people like it or not. And I want to say happy 63rd birthday Nigeria, happy 63rd birthday my country. Because we don't have any other nation. We need to live to love this nation. So we don't need to start pulling this nation down. Why I say I want to differ is that there was a last week Salah Bills made mention that he wanted to reduce the price of his cement, making assumption to it. So later on, I now find it on this Ovation magazine, this thing, Daily Mohammed. I find it on his page that he has reduced the price. I still give me fit, despite that is a reputable source. I still give me fit to go and confirm from Bua site itself, and I see that they've reduced the price of the cement to 3,000. What I now did on my status is that I'm going somewhere. Sorry. What I did on my status is that I now put it as 3,000 naira. So people now started seeing me and now started saying, it cannot happen. Whatever goes with Nigeria cannot come down. This is and that. So I now started engaging people that why are we always like this? Because even this dollar of 18 is speculation. Why are we not like putting our country there, telling our people that we can do it? There is possibility here. There is idea here. There is people. There is advantage here.
All right.
Why are we always putting ourselves down? So that is where I want to go. And any society that is having the issue is the community. The issue of Boko Haram, the issue of bandits, the issue of ISWAP, the issue of Southeast is the community. Because people will see these people and will say, the government should talk to them.
Thank you so much, Wale.
You are the one to talk to them.
All right, thank you so much. Your contribution is well taken. Our time is fast spent. Before we let you go, just if you can help us in 1 minute. Vanguard newspaper, same thing with all the newspapers, says tribunal sacks Nasarawa governor in split decision. Then you same way you go to Rivers State, that's the same thing. But then some other persons will come out to say that in the whole of this election tribunal is just few states that they decided to stay the order, and then in other states they decided to sack the present governors. It's just a different kettle of fish entirely in different places. What are your thoughts with regards to how the election tribunal has gone so far?
The last speaker, I think, is Dele Owale, his name.
Wale.
He was trying to tell you that we must at least be a patriotic Nigerians for once. And this patriotism, when I talk about independent or celebrating, I not because I'm not patriotic. When it comes, I left that. Now he can understand. I'm talking as a Nigerian who loves Nigeria. I don't have any other country than Nigeria. In this judgment of Nasarawa State, Rivers State, I believe now some will come believe me that judiciary is not at danger. You know, whenever you do, some people doesn't get what they want, they make their statement. When you go to my state, Kano, I know the statement some people are saying that the judiciary is in danger, the judiciary is alarming this and that and that. You understand what I'm saying? But they are not seeing even the officials who gave a threat that they will go into what is happening in Zamfara, Kaduna will going to be a play child if their party is not been recognized as the winners of the last gubernatorial election in Kano. And the same thing in what do I call it now, in Nasarawa. Now that the APC that is sitting maybe governor have lost, they have declared his second in position or whatever, the PDP. Not democracy is not more in danger. And what happened in Rivers, they may call it anything again, that because the man is in the government, that is why he had this favor from his own state, that is Wiki and others. So I want us to look Nigeria, that we don't have any other country than Nigeria. Let us come together and salvage Nigeria. Let everyone hands be on deck. We then need to be talking. At least there must be something that people must understand. Over the backlog of passports, in the Ministry of Interior. Look at over 204,663,332 were not considered. But within a just short period of the time when the ministers come in, they have attended. There is no single, zero backlog now. What are we going to lose? Is instead for Nigeria to have an income, generate income, you have just decided to give one company, an Indian company, to be dealing and sabotaging with Nigerians. Can you tell me this type of people that Ashwaju brought as a ministers, are they not moving Nigerian forward?
Thank you so much, Hassan Sardauna, political analyst. It's always a pleasure having this talk with you.
Thank you very much for having me, Annabel, and KAFTAN entirely.